The time is coming. I'm going away now to work on Max's Psychotic 7. But before I go, I leave you Far Cry 5 players with one more challenge. Introducing ATV Pilgrimage, a semi-open world arcade driving and platforming map. The map has been specifically designed for a four-wheeler or quad, and you're going to need it to win. There are no weapons to be found anywhere on the map. Your objective is to run over every single zombie with that vehicle. Some of the zombies, however, can be punched to death, but most of them are basically going to require that vehicle, or it's going to take for friggin' ever. The map is filled with obstacles and many different stunt jumps. 7 vehicles are provided for a single player, while 8 vehicles are provided for co-op. Don't waste them, because once they're gone, the chances of winning drop to near zero. The zombies can be targeted in any order. Jessica wants to tell you all about the pilgrimage. It's the pilgrimage pathway. It's designed specifically for your driving skills. It's going to test you and push you to the limit. The first pilgrimage is a test of driving. One must be careful when driving on the cliffs. When going through the fog is deadly. Cannot stay in the fog too long. Jessica not like the fog, but hates falling down even more. Falling down is a game over. Don't fall. Jessica not want the fog. The second pilgrimage is scary lizards. Use pillars as cover. Don't get zapped. Zapping is death. Zapped to death. Jessica knows that even if you survive, your vehicle will not. So do not get zapped. Don't get zapped. Jessica not want to be zapped. The third pilgrimage is now another driving test, but now must drive on floating objects. Jessica afraid. Jessica high up. Falling down death. Felt Jessica not want to fall down. The fourth pilgrimage is another floating objects test, but this one requires more precision as the pathway becomes more narrow, becomes smaller, requires you to be careful. Jessica knows you must be careful. Fortunately, you do not have to drive very fast, so feel free to take your time until you reach that last jump. Jessica not want to talk about the fifth pilgrimage. The fifth pilgrimage scary. They call it pressure. Pressure combines everything that we've endured into one, except the lizards. No lizards, but everything else present. You take damage. Jessica takes damage for being in the fog. The fog is scary. The fog is dangerous. Constant fog. Must navigate the obstacle course before succumbing to the fog. Speedrunning confirms that 65% of your health is taken away, at bare minimum, if you drive carefully while going through the fog. So you're gonna be seeing a very red screen. Jessica not want to see the fog. The fog hurts. The fog hurts, but crashing is a bigger penalty because it means being in the fog even longer. This is where players will rage the most. Players will hate this. Players will rage. The pressure will take away the lives of many that try to travel through without being cautious. But Jessica knows how to survive. Will you survive? Jessica must sleep. The pilgrimage is the most dangerous obstacle course of the entire mission. Completing all 5 pilgrimage paths required the player to take a vehicle from start to end. Multiple stunt jumps are in place to act as a vehicle check, and you cannot complete pressure without a vehicle. I've installed resets that will send players back to the mainland should they happen to lose their vehicle but are still alive. It will prevent them from being trapped. The reset will also always work, despite what you might believe. Be warned though, if you use it on co-op, that it will send your co-op partner back no matter where they are on the map, so just be warned about that. Also, be careful on how many times you use that reset, because if you do use it too many times, well... If you ever get lost in the pilgrimage, just follow the street signs. They've been installed to help to guide the player on where they're supposed to go. The last bit of assistance I'll give to you is a minor reward, waiting for you at the inside of the house for anyone that does complete the pilgrimage. Of course you're going to complete the pilgrimage though, because it's mandatory to. Oh yes, you have to go through all 5 pilgrimage paths with a vehicle just to win the entire mission. You may have noticed that the default floor is present. This is not a demo that you're watching, this is the real floor choice. I've left it default on purpose because it's gained such a bad reputation over the years, and I'm partially responsible for it, so I want to show off a map, or at least demonstrate that a map is not completely doomed with using a default floor. It's as the saying goes, it's not the size of the dog, it's the fight of the dog. You'd have to really, really hate driving, or just not have a passion for it, or just dislike me in general, in order to dislike the entire map. I did try a desert palette at first, however, but it didn't feel right with the kind of enemies that were going to be eliminated. Floating platforms also makes more sense under an arcade theme. And speaking of which, I did want to tag this arcade, but it would have caused problems for players that don't speak the same language. At least under a vehicle's ground tag, all players are given some clue as to what they're supposed to do. I haven't done a full playthrough of the map myself, and I don't plan on doing so. Not yet anyway, not until I return. The map doesn't require a, quote, script to reach any of the primary targets, and none of the targets are linked to a script either. Therefore, the map is winnable, or should be winnable. There are people that will probably go full religious on this map because it's strange decimal, and because the platforming challenges all the competitive players. It drives them to play. The playthrough of me doing it though, however, will be saved for a future co-op livestream. The only way I'll look at it early is if I receive reports that the map is broken. Then I'll just go ahead and look at it on solo mode. With that in mind, here are some known issues that I'm aware of with this map. One of the blood dragons has a habit of committing suicide by walking off the cliff despite being in a control zone. I do not intend to fix this, because it still only takes one laser to end the game, so the intensity is still present. So, should this happen, feel free to enjoy the RNG freebie as you're able to pass. This walker has a very rare chance of spawning in before the platform does. Not fixing this, I'm just going to leave it alone, so enjoy the free bypass should this happen. Otherwise, you're going to have to do some intense platforming to reach it. Some of the cosmetic paint is not appearing as intended. I might just remove the paint completely in a future update. Getting inside this first tube leading in the pilgrimage is a pain. Elevations are not set properly, and I've tried fixing it, but it just creates more problems. So if too many players find it to be an issue, I'll just remove the tube completely. And the final issue that I'm aware of is that the game's frame rates will drop greatly if the players summon all the zombie yetis without killing any of the walkers. The yetis might get removed on a future update depending how bad the slowdown is. If you encounter any other issues with the map that I'm not aware of, let me know and I'll go and investigate. But otherwise, this map is probably gonna keep you all entertained for a while, as it does take a while to beat. I estimate that it probably takes about 12 minutes to speedrun it, though I probably could be wrong about that. And that's the map that's been uploaded. Now I must go and prepare to do an update video.